I figured this would be a good time to do a review of this Texsport 2-man camouflage trail tent that I got on Amazon for $27. I currently have it set up at our campground right now. We're using this tent, but I figured since I live in a condo, I don't really have any room or a yard to waterproof this. So I bought a can of waterproofing silicone from Walmart. It's like $5 for a can, and it makes your tent completely waterproof. So I had the seams sealed on this tent, but I did not have a spray on it. So now, hopefully after a couple hours, this thing will be completely waterproof. But an overall review of this tent, I have not personally used this tent yet. Phil used it on the last trip and he said it was amazing. It's really lightweight. I think it comes in at about maybe 3 pounds, maybe a little over 3 pounds, which actually isn't that bad for what it is. You can see the tarp flooring on the bottom. It's got the bathtub flooring all around. Allows it to be pretty waterproof. If it happens to rain and there's like standing water going underneath your tent or something, you'll be fine because it's completely waterproof. And the tarp material itself actually isn't that thick. It's kind of thin, which means it's good and lightweight, but it feels durable too. So the sides are made with, I'm not going to be all technical because I don't really know all the specs on it, but it seems to be just a typical tent material, that ripstop nylon or whatever they use for most tents. This is a $27 tent, guys. It's not going to be a crazy $200, you know, one of those, I can't even think of any of the names of them right now, but it's not going to be a crazy expensive tent. So you get what you pay for. But on Amazon, this thing has really good reviews. It's got, I think, about 4.5 out of 5 stars. Seems like it would hold up pretty well. The only means of ventilation in this tent, which is one of the complaints about this tent, is there's not much ventilation. Let me pull the flaps back here. There's a flap in the front, and that's all mesh on the opening there, so you can tie it back to get yourself a mesh opening. And there is an opening on the back here. The construction of this is kind of weird because the zippers for the back window are on the outside of the tent, which I find to be a little strange. But like I said, $27 tent, it's not going to be anything crazy awesome. But this little back flap flips up here and you can see into the tent and through it, so it gives you a little cross ventilation coming through here. The tent itself comes with these really, like, I'm pretty surprised at how lightweight these aluminum poles are. There are 3 sections, so you can break them apart in 1, 2, and 3 sections. And they actually roll up really nicely when you put them in the tent, you know, to roll it up. And then it's a simple pup style tent. So what you do is you take just a standing knot here. What I do is I bring it down to a taut line hitch to a stake. So that way you can adjust the tightness or tautness, I guess you could say, of it. So it's not a freestanding tent. It does rely on guy lines. And I have the same deal on the back. So it comes with 2 of these poles, 6 sections that you put together. So I have the same deal on the back, running to a stake on the ground with a taut line hitch there. The back of this window has tie-ups. You probably saw it before. But when you roll it up, you can tie it up with a string. So that way the window stays open. And same deal on the front. Another complaint is I may end up doing a modification on this a little later, but there's no zipper. There's a zipper on the mesh in there, but there's no zipper on the flaps here. It relies on these really chintzy little strings. They're kind of like ribbon material, honestly. So I can see those either ripping or falling apart eventually. So what I may do is I may take some Velcro or something and put a line of Velcro on it and Velcro it shut, because it has a little bit of overlap. That's an option, or I can take a zipper and sew it in here. But as far as when the rain comes, you may be kind of screwed if you can't get this all the way shut. But anyways, oh, another thing on the outside, it's actually big enough. It says it's a 2-man tent, and I believe it. Usually tents, when they say they're 2-man, they're really not, unless you feel like sleeping on top of each other. But if you look in there, there's really no size reference, but you can fit 2 people in there semi-comfortably. You'd have to know each other pretty well, but I think 2 people can fit in there comfortably. And see, the sides have a little bit of a sag, but to remedy that, on the outside here, they have these little loop tie-offs that you can tie a string to, and you can kind of, it's hard to do with one hand here, but you can kind of guy it out to give you more space inside. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, it has one on that side and it has one on the other side as well. So you can kind of balloon this thing out a little bit and give you more space inside. So I'll just give you a little shot of inside the tent here. The door is a 3-zipper system. One going up, one going to the left, and one going to the right. So it gives you your mesh flaps, which you can also tie back here. If you're not in a big buggy area, you can just open this thing up completely. But here's a shot of inside the tent, and it stinks in here right now because of that silicone spray that I put on it. I'll probably end up getting high sitting in here. So yeah, you can see the bathtub tarp coming up a little bit there. It's just kind of a quick scan. You can see the window, it's closed right now in the back. But overall, like I said, I haven't used this tent personally. I may end up using it on this trip. Maybe not, but I got that big one right over there. It's just kind of a luxury camping trip. So who knows? I may end up sleeping in this thing tonight just to test it out. But that's my review of the Texsport 2-man camouflage trail tent. And yeah, so you guys have a good day.